All right, welcome everyone. Today we're diving deep into something pretty fascinating, I think.
Yeah,
The history of Islam in Ethiopia.
right.
And, a lot of times when we think about the spread of Islam, we think about,
Conquest.
yeah, military expansion, all that stuff, but
Yeah,
that's not what happened here.
right. This is completely different.
Yeah, we've got some great historical texts to help us piece together this story,
Absolutely.
and I think it's going to really challenge some of the common narratives we hear.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, to kind of set the stage,
Yeah.
I guess we should go back to the 7th century AD.
Okay.
The very early days of Islam.
Yeah,
And this was a time of intense persecution for Muslims in Mecca,
absolutely. Yeah.
right? And so it's in this context that the Prophet Muhammad makes a very interesting decision.
Right.
In 615 AD, he sends some of his followers,
Including his daughter
yeah, including his daughter Fatima, to seek refuge
to seek refuge.
in Aksum,
Yeah, in Kingdom of Aksum,
present-day Ethiopia.
present-day Ethiopia, right?
Now, and this is what gets me,
Yeah.
Aksum was a Christian kingdom.
Yeah.
So why do you think he chose to send them there?
Well, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
It seems like he might have had a sense
Okay.
that the Aksumite king was known for being just and fair.
Interesting.
And, Aksum was a kingdom with lots of different religious communities already.
Oh, so it was already diverse.
It was already diverse.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he thought, maybe this king, this Christian king, would be more open
Right, yeah.
to offering protection
Yeah, that makes sense.
to those fleeing persecution.
Right. I mean, it was a pretty smart move
It
because
was, yeah.
the king did welcome them.
Yeah, he welcomed them, gave them
They
asylum.
live in asylum, yeah.
Yeah, and there's even the story about the Quraysh.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
The Quraysh Arabs, right?
Yeah.
They actually pursued the Muslims all the way to Akhthum,
Wow.
trying to, discredit them in the king's court.
Oh, wow. To get him kicked out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
But Jafar,
Yeah.
Prophet's cousin?
The prophet's cousin.
Yeah.
He steps up
Okay.
and he defends them so eloquently.
Wow, so he, refuted their accusations?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And basically, the Quraysh had to go back to Mecca empty-handed.
Wow, so the Muslims stayed there?
They stayed there, yeah. Safe in Aksum.
That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible story.
it's an incredible story.
Yeah.
And then because of that kindness and protection,
Right.
the Prophet actually later forbids the forced conversion of Ethiopians.
Exactly.
Right, that's huge.
That's huge, yeah.
Because it sets the stage for this whole different trajectory
Right.
for Islam in Ethiopia compared to other regions.
Right, yeah.
So how did Islam spread in Ethiopia then?
Well, mainly through two, entry points.
Okay.
You have the Dalak Islands in the Red Sea
Okay.
and the Port of Zila on the Gulf of Aden.
Okay, so let's start with the Dalak Islands.
Okay.
We know that by the 10th century AD,
Right.
there was already a Muslim sultanate there.
Right. And so, I'm imagining, preachers and traders
Yeah.
interacting with local communities
Right.
and spreading Islam in that way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But what were these communities actually like?
So, you hear the term pastoral communities a lot, but
Yeah.
what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
These were groups of people who lived by herding livestock,
Okay.
right? So sheep, goats, cattle, camels.
Oh, okay.
They were always on the move looking for grazing land and water for their animals.
So they were nomadic.
They were nomadic.
Wow, okay.
And that kind of lifestyle, being on the move all the time,
Yeah.
it probably made them more open.
Open to new things?
Yeah, to new ideas and interactions with traders and preachers
Yeah.
who were also traveling.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were going in and conquering these people.
No, not at all.
It was much more organic.
Yeah, much more organic.
Okay, so that's the Dalak route.
Right.
Now, am I right that the Zila route was actually more impactful?
You are right.
Okay, so why was that?
Well, I think a key factor is that the northern part of Ethiopia
Okay.
was already very Christian.
Oh, okay, so they'd already been Christianized.
Yeah, Christianity was already a strong force there.
Wow, so that probably slowed things down from the Dalak Islands.
Exactly. Yeah, it's likely that those established Christian communities
Yeah.
provided some resistance to the spread of Islam from that direction.
Oh, that's interesting.
But Zila was different.
Okay.
That was a much more significant gateway
Into the interior?
into the interior of Ethiopia.
Okay.
And in that region, Islam encountered less resistance. It
Interesting.
kind of blended.
Blended with existing beliefs.
Yeah, blended with existing indigenous beliefs.
Wow, so we have these two different entry points,
Right.
each with its own unique context.
Absolutely.
And it all contributed to this really fascinating story.
Yeah.
of how Islam took root in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for Ethiopia?
Right.
How did this peaceful introduction of Islam actually impact the country?
Well, I think it's led to something really remarkable.
Okay.
Centuries of coexistence between Islam and Christianity in Ethiopia.
Wow.
And that coexistence, it's really shaped,
The whole country.
yeah, the country's cultural and social fabric.
And it's so different from the
Yeah.
narratives that we usually hear.
It really is.
Right. And it kind of begs the question,
Yeah.
what were the key factors
Right.
that allowed for this peaceful integration of Islam
Yeah.
in Ethiopia?
Yeah. Especially when you compare it to other regions
Yeah.
where religious conflict was much more common.
Yeah, I mean, it's really something to think about, right?
It is.
It makes you realize that
Yeah.
these religious encounters don't always have to be defined by conflict.
Exactly.
And it really speaks to the power, I think,
Yeah.
of like human connection and understanding
Yeah.
in shaping these religious landscapes.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us today
Of course.
on this deep dive into the history of Islam in Ethiopia.
Yeah. It's been fascinating.
It's a story that really challenges our assumptions and I think encourages us
Yeah.
to kind of rethink some of our preconceived notions
For sure.
about the spread of religions.
Absolutely.
And, if you're interested in learning more,
Yeah.
I definitely encourage you to go out there
Yeah.
and explore the rich history of Ethiopia
Absolutely.
and, yeah, just see what you can discover.
Yeah.
So until next time,
Yeah.
thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you on our next deep dive.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
All right, take care.
See you later.